So I remember when I did the shoot for that particular song, and I was
What's the song?
It's called Bonbon, and I was in Nigeria, and during the shoot, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend. Can't be smiling when I'm not happy. I can't be acting like everything is okay when it's not. It's time to get out. And I remember when we came to a close, I was like, thank you very much. This is the last one. And that was it.
Yo, were you scared?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Had you rededicated sort of your life to God and be like, okay, God?
At that point in time in Nigeria, no.
Not. So you come back to Nairobi and what? You've just...
That's it. I was like, I'm following Jesus. I went and I enrolled for Bible school, and it was a wrap.
I love it.
I said it was a wrap, and it was.
You went to enroll for Bible school?
Yeah, and I remember the dean asking me, are you born again? I'm like, yes. If you are, come on Monday. I'm like, sir, you'll see me on Monday. And I remember sitting in that class, and you could tell the looks from everybody because you've not announced. The guys are like, what's she doing here? Who sent her?
We got an agent.
We got an agent. So, but then I was like, I remember you church people. I know you. Yeah.
So what year was this when you were like, okay, I'm done?
2016.
And then you don't know what you're doing. You don't know if you're going to do gospel music. You don't know if you're going to whatever. You just know that I'm done.
Me was done. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. But me was done. And I was like, this is not how I had planned it. This is not how I'd planned the exit. But this is the exit. And I need to deal with it as it is. I wish I had planned it better. Because then I would have put certain things in place. Just pulling the plug and going, that's it, we're out of here. I think I should have planned it better. But sometimes
you gotta do it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So did you do the surgery?
So right after that, I remember I told my then, who's my husband now, told him I need to do this surgery. I want to do it. Of course, it was going to cost. So we planned for it and took our time. Another point in time, I was just quiet. I was not in the industry. Everyone was asking, what happened? And of course, what are all the stories that were there before? The ones that they were intense. Everybody had their own theory. But at that point in time, I didn't care. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Makes you happy? Talk. So, yeah. And I was at peace with it. That's the funny thing. I didn't feel...
Your name is Peace.
Yes. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because as it is, I was already getting... I don't think my heart was there anymore because even the gigs that I did towards the end, I was feeling irritated half of the time at the gigs. Yeah. My heart wasn't there. So, it could have been easily been fixed by a second album, do this for one more round. I'd seen the guys before me already doing it and still doing it. And I knew, there was a future to this. One more album would have had, I had maybe 2, 3, 4 years into it and everything. Then I could now plan a proper exit as an artist. But I just pulled the plug. We're out.
That is just...
Following Jesus.
So, I remember for me when I heard about your Jesus announcements was during Sitam Church. Because we used to do the digital for Sitam.
Yes.
And Pastor Kuchio is like, I'm going to have a conversation with Amani. I'm like, who? When? How?
When did it happen?
But I was also happy for you, to be honest.
Thank God.
I never look at somebody coming to Christ from a negative perspective. It always fills me with joy when that happens. Because I know. Remember, it happened to me, so I know.
Yes, so you know.
Yeah. But I want to figure out from you now, when do you feel like, okay, fine, I can let the public know? Because unfortunately for you, there's a place that you are at.
So I sort of...
That we want to be in your biz.
And so I just said I want to grow and everything. So I just enjoyed that time, and I have to say it was a very nice time. Of course, the devil was trying to show me, I'll show you. Ati umeokoka. Ngoja. Show you where you're at is not better than where you came from. And a lot of things happened in my life around that time. And I was ready for it. I'd been reading.
Finances cut.
Yani, cut finance. That tap was forward like this. You know, he's trying to embarrass me from all corners. But I'm like, you know what? I have made the decision to be born again. And I am not looking back. I want to be with Jesus. And that's the way it is. I'm not looking back. And that's the way it is. The funny thing is, as much as the devil was trying to harass me in other areas, as an individual, inward,
nice, huh?
I was nice. There was peace, there was tranquility, it felt good.
Shalom.
I was in a good place. So even as stones were being thrown, I'm like, enjoy yourself and everything. And people couldn't understand why I didn't want it anymore. So, you know, guys could dangle a carrot in front of you, like, hey, there's a gig. Do you want it? We have them on a billboard. Do you want to be on a billboard? Do you like that? You know, sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't want it. You don't know that I want it? I don't want it. So yeah, there was that. There's a lot of dangling of carrots. Till today, I think I still see it. Like, you don't want to be the... I'm like, I'm so done. You have no idea.
But what about then you coming back? Did you think you were done with music?
I was done with music.
So for you then to come back into music, that's huge. Because you see, that's one public... So if you get saved and you disappear and you never have to talk to anybody, that's okay.
Yes.
But now you're coming from one public side to another public side.
Yes, and that was not really the intention. I remember just getting born again and loving it, and just getting back to that place where I absolutely loved music. I just loved to just worship. I just loved to just sing this. It was such a beautiful and safe space for me. I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it so much. And now I was getting back into it. I was just putting on worship music in the house and just worshiping. It brought me so much joy. And I kept asking God, do I have to share this with the world? Surely. We're fine. You know, just me and you is good. We don't have to go back there. And I just kept reading and everything, and I realized that it has to be done, you know. And I remember just going like, Lord, I know you've placed a ministry in me. And I got angry at some point. And I'm like, I didn't ask you. Why? And he took me back to many years ago. I asked for it. Many years ago at a teen camp organized by Wairimu Nelson, Teresia Wairimu. I was there, and she was like, who would like to receive Mimi Kwa? Na tukapokea. So I remember, you know,
those times that you just work your hand out.
You're there and everything. And I remember, oh, by the way, I asked for this. Sawa. So now I started praying for the grace to be able to go back there, because I knew I was going right back to the place I'd run away from. And I asked God, just give me grace. Just give me grace. Because this is the particular, I knew there was a thin line between gospel and secular, especially in Kenya. So you'd meet the same people, you'd probably deal with the same people, deal with the same corporate. It's very similar. So I just asked God for grace.
And then what was the first song that now you put out?
So at that point in time, even before I went to Lagos, I had done a Christian song.
With Lucas?
Gospel. No, with RK. And it was called Unanitosha, featuring Juliani. So RK was like, just come to this side. Me that time, I'm yo-yoing, you know, I'm like, am I even, you know, I was confused kabisa. And Bien is the one who wrote for me in Anditosha. So I met Bien in the studio, but I write for you. I'm thinking, now you. Anyway, right. So Bien wrote it and I sang it, and we never did a video. But yeah, that was probably the first gospel song that I wrote.
Amani, the RK.
Nimeenda mbali, nchi mbalimbali, mbali zaidi, through tukusale, Juliane.
Nimeenda Amerika, Kenya, Uganda na Tanzania, kote nilikubalika, walinibabaikia, hiyo bangunia, nyota ulionipatia, mie karubandika, kanigeuza kitu kipya. Usichana wangu nakupa wewe, nisiaibike milele, na maisha yangu nakupa wewe, nisiaibike. Unanitosha, unanitosha baba, unanitosha, hakuna mwingine kama wewe. Unanitosha, unanitosha baba, unanitosha, kama wewe. Hebu fikiria, haya yote unajivunia, mambo ya dunia unayababaikia, unategemea binadamu, usitegemee. Egeza macho mbinguni, wasikufanye mkia. Usichana wangu nakupa wewe, nisiaibike milele, na maisha yangu nakupa wewe, nisiaibike. Unanitosha baba, unanitosha, hakuna mwingine kama wewe. Unanitosha, unanitosha baba, unanitosha, hakuna mwingine kama wewe. When I think about your grace, how you brought me from this mess, how I long to see your face, I just wanna shout and give you praise. When I think about your grace, how you brought me from this mess, how I long to see your face, I just wanna shout and give you praise.
Mshaiva kiatu bila kuongeza ina soul, pea mbili ya socks itoshe, venye kiatu ni soul ndivyo amenitosha. Since mi kuokoka, mwenye kufurahi ni kinyozi, akidhani jua nitaangusha. Kenya ilienda chini ni magoti, nikiomba msamaha ya haya, anaishi wapi? Kama si Kinondoni, umefikiria kumwangalia karibu na msalabani? Huko ndiyo base ya maho place, wakitaka wawe sote bila breakfast za cornflakes. A prayer in the morning, inatukeep fresh all day.
And, you know, I just let it sit there. And afterwards is when I was like, okay, fine. You know, I can handle it. God give me the grace. We're going back. And yeah.
So you released.
So that of that I released Jina Lake Yesu. And two things that were a bit tricky for me was I was going back to the same place, because like I said, it's a thin line. The industry is intertwined. And I knew there was a process, but this time the process is different. Yeah. And unfortunately, the expectations, people expect because you've just switched from secular to gospel, that boom, you're going to have your first hit song. Very different people take different paths. You can't assume that so-and-so's path is this and this person's path. Maybe I'm supposed to be a preacher, you never know. And the music is like meats, you know, it's not meat, it supplements, you know, the preaching and everything. Maybe my gospel hits will come later. They shouldn't happen instantly. But
it's a very different industry.
It's a very different industry.
Because you're bringing the spiritual aspect.
Thank you. And you see, now when the spiritual aspect is there, and unfortunately on this other side,
you control everything.
You
Or you
control
try it.
everything.
You try it.
In fact, like I told you, you sit down and you plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sing this. We're going to do this. This is how it's going to sound like. But now as a Christian artist, you don't decide quite how it's going to sound. He sort of directs that. And that whole thing of sort of letting go and just letting God work on you to perfect whatever it is that is in you now becomes a process.
Amani.
A main switch production.
Sifu jina lake Yesu. Sifu jina lake Yesu. Yeye ni Alfa na Omega, pia nuru ya dunia. Basi ndo tumwabudu. He's an awesome God. He's a mighty God. He's an awesome God. He's a mighty God. So let us praise His name. So let us sing His praises. Sifu jina lake Yesu. Sifu jina lake Yesu. Inua jina lake. Inua jina lake. Sifu.
Unfortunately, most people are not patient. Until today, guys look at me like, kwa nini hajaitwa hit song ya gospel? Mbona gospel song zake hazihit? Kwa nini?
And it's us guys, the born again Christians as well.
Born again wana mambo, but ni sawa tu.
So who did you work with? Well, you haven't gone back to Ogopa?
No.
You haven't, eh?
No.
You don't have to answer, but is that something that may happen? Or again, as led?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I can't.
Was it different than working with a different producer?
It was different.
Because I'm sure you are so used to.
I
First of all,
was
you're
so
now
used.
doing gospel. Not that you weren't doing gospel. You did the Tahidi with him. But I can imagine that different transition.
It was a different transition. I was used to working in a certain way, and I was used to being a certain kind of artist, and we were used to working towards a vision. There was an overall plan. Now I'm basically, you know, that the producer you're working with is not part of the vision. You know, this song could work, it could not work. I'm not working on all songs with him. You know, it's a different sort of thing. And I could feel it that I'm supposed to wait, but I was like, you know what, let me just do one. Let me just do another and everything. And yeah. But it was very different. I was used to work in a certain way. Like I said, Lucas is very structured.
Years.
Yeah, for years. Lucas is very structured. Till today, I do not quite know how to just go to the studio and shoot breeze. I can't do that. Yeah.
Whew, what a story. Okay, I've got to ask this one. Because you then, after 30, remember when you said 33 you wanted to get married? Fast forward, you even now have a child.
Yes.
How was that becoming a mother?
Being a mom.
Because even right now you're looking at the
I'm looking at the
yeah, I've been looking at the
clock. I
phone. You're
wanna
like, hey,
go
listen, I had given you
home.
guys until 4:30. It's 5:30.
I want to go home. Yes. It's a wonderful thing. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. I love being at home with my baby. I love spending time. I absolutely love being a mom. Came much later, but I absolutely love it.
I love it.
I enjoy I'm grateful I do not take it for granted. Every single day I tell God, thank you. Thank you for my baby. Thank you for this. Not a single day will pass. I don't take it for granted. I would have missed it. Because by the time I was now having the second surgery, which was a major surgery, but I had the right kind of support around me and I pulled through. But unfortunately, after that, I thought that was it. But I had another surgery. I was not ready for that one. I was an emotional wreck after that because I was not ready for it. My doctor was like, oh, this one. Hey, this one. It was quite tricky. You know, my mom had to take me. She had to take care of me because I didn't expect to have a third one. So when I had the third one, I wasn't happy and it wasn't good. The recovery was a mess, but I pulled through. And I remember even when my doctor and anesthetist, my gynecologist and anesthetist were wheeling me to the theater during the third surgery, I told them, this is the last time you're wheeling me into the theater to remove these things. The next time you're wheeling me into the theater, we'll be getting a baby out.
Speak those things.
And I heard, and it happened.
What?
In 2020, they were wheeling me into the theater and they're like, we're getting a baby
COVID,
out.
baby!
I know. Unfortunately. But it was such a moment for us, you know. It was the anesthetist and the gyno, and they were like, yeah. I had been my gynecologist's patient since 2006. I finally got my baby in 2020.
What?
14 years.
Hey. Amani, first and foremost, I want to tell you thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's so much to thank you for. Thank you for what you've done for the Kenyan music industry. As I keep saying, the urban Kenyan music industry stands on your shoulders. You went ahead, filled portals, not just for the women, but even just for the men. Literally for the industry, for all those who've come after you, number one. Number two, thank you for just coming here and openly, vulnerably sharing your story. Like, I think it's I won't lie to you, it's very difficult for me to get women. We've been talking for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't like forcing people to come here because if I force them, they come on my will and they won't be as vulnerable and sharing and as giving. You've come here and you have given. Wow. You have given so much of your life. And I know you're giving so that other people watching this can benefit.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Last but definitely not least, I just want to pray that, Heavenly Father, will you please continue to... This story is not over. In fact, my one ask is, can we meet after 10 years? This is what I ask everybody comes to this seat. Can we meet after 10 years?
Don't worry.
I have a feeling...
There's a part that is yet to be lived. Because one thing I know about God, He doesn't bring you out to do something in your life that is lesser than where He brought you out of. That's one thing I know.
Become a preacher already.
So the vision in the end will speak.
Yep. And that's actually why I'm honestly asking, if God willing, can we meet 10 years from now?
No problem.
I feel like you're just at the beginning of the next chapter.
Yeah.
Like your life has had so many different chapters. It is insane. Like, honestly speaking, you've achieved what very few people have achieved. And now people hearing your story are able to listen and be like, yo, for real, this chick is talking about being tired of gigging. Mi nataka tu gig mbili. Mi nataka kukuwa tired of gigging.
True.
Across the continent. So that's not normal. So thank you so much. I just want you to give a parting shot. And this one is specifically to the women in the industry. Those who are thinking of joining, those who are there right now. I think that you have earned the right to just speak to them as an authority.
I think one of the things that really changed for me was I didn't just see myself as a female artist. I'm an artist. You have a hit song, I have a hit song. You're pulling a crowd of 10,000, I can pull the same crowd. I'm an artist. I'm not just a female artist. I'm an artist and I'm as good as you are. So see yourself as that. When you go into studio, don't do a song that is like you're trying to be nice. Bring it on.
And
when you're on stage, if the guy is bringing the crowd, is working it up, work it up. That's if you're secular. Gospel is different. And that's why I love gospel.
And cut.
Gospel, you let the Spirit of God move. So refreshing.